If you're looking to book coaching clients and you don't want to dance in TikToks and you don't want to have to post all the time on social media, I want to invite you to join my email list at HaileyRowe.com because I'm going to be announcing a scholarship opportunity for my program, The Inner Circle. This program takes you through how to market your business without needing to be an influencer, but using the timeless principles of sales and marketing and applying it to either LinkedIn, a social media platform of your choice, or locally in your community, or through collaborations and partnerships. We do not do a cookie cutter, one size fits all approach for everyone. We tailor your business protocol to you. It's a combination of private coaching and small group coaching. And the scholarship opportunity is going to allow you to join at a special rate and be able to get some bonuses. I'm going to be sharing how you can apply, and it's all going to be through my email list. So be sure to join HaileyRowe.com. You can sign up for my freebie on the homepage, but that will also get you on my email list, and I'll talk to you soon. Welcome to the Health Coach Nation podcast. I'm your host, Hailey Rowe. And on this show, we cover marketing, sales, time management, and mindset tips for coaches and service providers. And one of the things that my clients who come to me struggle with the most, and what I hear almost daily on discovery calls, is that you are struggling with knowing what to do to generate clients because there's so many options. And you maybe haven't seen any of them work yet, or you haven't tried any of them, or you're not sure which one to try first. And when it comes to marketing, it's one of those things where you do have to make a hypothesis. You have to try it. You have to give it a fair chance. You have to be willing to collect data and refine as you go. And you have to then evaluate, is this worth my time, or should I pivot, or should I do more of it, less of it, whatever it may be. And that can be a process that a lot of people get very overwhelmed by or can't make a decision of what to even test. So I'm going to give you an exercise today that you can use to determine what step to start with, because you can work with a coach or take a course or watch a million different webinars, but at the end of the day, you have to build trust with yourself to be able to make a decision on what you're doing for your business, what your plan is for your business. You have to line up with it and do it. And that takes some courage, because if you're not a pro entrepreneur, you're going to doubt yourself a lot. You're going to be like, am I making the right choice? Should I go do what Sally's doing over there because it looks like her business is taking off? Do I need to do the next trending thing on Instagram or TikTok or whatever it may be? So it can be very daunting to pick a choice, do it, and stick with it when there's so much noise out there. But before I get into the exercise, I just want to read a little testimonial from one of my clients who is a Work Smart Marketing Club member. So this client, and this is on my Work Smart Marketing page, but I want to share it because she was confused about what to prioritize in her business. And she is somebody who was able to get very clear. And she said that the Work Smart Marketing Club was one of the best decisions she had ever made for herself and her business. So this is from Mia. She said, Hailey is second to none. Her guidance and knowledge truly, she goes above and beyond to help you. She has shaped me into a more confident business owner, which in turn has benefited me as a health and wellness consultant. I cannot single out the one thing that she delves into that wasn't inspiring. Or sorry, I misread that. I cannot single out one thing that she delves into that wasn't inspiring. Everything ties into and comes together for the ultimate goal you want to achieve, and that is success. Before signing with Hailey, believe me, I looked into a lot of other people, but not one of them could compare or even remotely come close to how dedicated Hailey is and how she takes a genuine approach to making sure all of your concerns are acknowledged and your questions are answered. One thing is for sure, the best decision I ever made for myself and my business was choosing Hailey Rowe. So thank you for that, Mia.
all of your guys' reviews on the podcast or in my programs make my day. It's why I do this work. I want to see you succeed. And so I just want to give that shout out, and I want to share that because one option for you, if you are really stuck on what marketing activities are going to produce clients for you, a route you could go is joining the Mark Smart Marketing Club, because it's month to month, it's low risk, it's my monthly membership. You're able to hop on a call with me as a member. We have 2 member calls per month. It's a group setting, but you'll be able to ask, hey, here's what I'm thinking after listening to this podcast episode. Do you think that, what have you seen in your experience related to this, or what tweaks might you give me, or what warnings might you give me, or how would you best approach this? So what I want you to do is go through the episode today with the exercise, but if questions come up, or if you're having challenges with implementing it, or you want to run it by someone, this is something you could do in the Work Smart Marketing Club. So you can join at haileyrowe.com/worksmart. And we have some really exciting things coming up. I've just added a new component to the membership, and it is my Collabs to Cash blueprint, where you're going to get my 7-step system for profitable collaborations and partnerships, how to find quality partners that grow your email list, your sales, etc., even if you're starting with a tiny audience, what to say to score major visibility opportunities like speaking, podcasts, email building strategies, and more, and what marketing steps to focus on first to execute collaboration marketing. And then I'm going to also give you templates, tools, examples, things like that to help you remove the guesswork. So if you're curious about that, you can go to haileyrowe.com/worksmart. My new Collabs to Cash blueprint is included in the membership. You'll get to meet other members. You'll get to join us for a next live Q&A call. But now let's get into the exercise. So the exercise that I like to use is Alex Hormozi's More, Better, New exercise, but I put my own twist on it. So what he says is, when you have a business, when you're marketing and choosing your marketing strategies, you want to go into doing more of what's already working at a higher volume. You want to do it better. So keep improving how you're doing it, systematize it, make it even better. And then, and only then, do you want to add a new strategy or test something new. So the way that I go through this, and the way that I interpret it, is when we're trying to decide a marketing activity that's going to help you bring in clients, I like to go through an exercise, not more, better, new, but more like past, present, and future. And I'm going to explain what I mean by this. So the first step is to look at your past and think about, in my business, or even if you haven't started your business yet, you can just look at general information. But if you have started your business or dabbling into your business, I want you to ask, in the past, what has yielded either follows on social media, discovery calls, inquiries from potential clients, sales, or referrals. Okay, so I want you to think about each of those. What has worked to produce any one of those things? Because those are things that can turn into sales if they're not already sales. And those are things we probably want to do more of, or investigate and see if we can do more of it so that you can grow your business. So for example, I was actually going through this with a client today, and she helps preemie moms, but she also does life coaching for families with like disabilities and things like that. So we were talking, and I was asking her in the past what had yielded some discovery calls or client reviews she got or things like that. And she was saying that one of the things that happened was she did a post on her personal Facebook profile announcing her coaching business and sharing that she was doing like a, special opportunity to get a free intro session and blah, blah, blah. And she said that yielded to people reaching out. So we already realized, well, why don't we do that kind of intro post just to reintroduce yourself to your audience like every quarter, right? Because you're going to get new Facebook friends and new followers, and they might not have seen that post back in the day. So let's repeat it. And don't be afraid to repeat yourself, by the way, in marketing, because repetition is your friend and people might need to hear your message 7 to 17 times before it fully registers. So that was just one thing right away. We were like, okay, well, let's take that post and let's do it on your other platforms too. And let's do it once a quarter. Or she had another thing where she got a referral from a friend. And I said, okay, well, do you have a referral program? Right. And that was something we explored and we got more clear on for her so that she could get more referrals or incentivize more referrals. Right. So the other thing too is she has this journal that she sells on Amazon. And I asked her within that journal, because she's gotten a lot of sales on this journal, does she have anything about her coaching business or booking a call with her or anything about her email lead magnet? And she said no. And we were like, okay, well, we need to add that because these are ideal clients for you getting this journal. And why are we not, leveraging that? So it was little things that we were like, wow, before we go dive into a whole brand new thing, why aren't we doing these missed opportunities? So that's that first step, is looking at your past and seeing what among my past has yielded a little bit of positive progress or a sale. And can I do more of that activity? Can I standardize that activity? Or can I, look back at that and see, can I repeat it in some way? Then we want to look at your present moment. So looking at your week and how you're spending your time in your business. Are the things that you're doing yielding any positive results? And when I say positive results, I don't just mean money in the door. I mean also shares. Are you getting certain shares on some content? Are you getting some email subscribers from somewhere? Are you presently, having people reach out and tell you that your content is inspiring them? Are you doing any collaborations presently that are coming out soon that could be an opportunity? Things like that. So presently, are you doing anything on a regular basis that is indicating it could yield sales or that has already yielded sales? And can we do more of that before adding something new? And how can we do those things better or up level them or do them more consistently? And then the next part is the future, looking into the future. So this is for all my people who are listening to this and you're like, okay, well, nothing has worked yet, which, by the way, please, if you want to succeed in entrepreneurship, never make broad statements like that, because you're not dissecting anything, you're not critically thinking, and you're just passing it off as like nothing's working, so I'm not going to look into anything else, and I'm going to be a victim. So stop doing that. Get more specific. I've tried X, 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 Y, Z, and here's my results from that. Here's the data. Here's what I've learned from that. Here's where I think I could get better. That's what I want you thinking about. Okay. So first of all, if we're looking into the future, if you tell me, Hailey, I've tried XYZ and here's what has happened from that, and now here's where I'm stuck, I want you to now think ahead into the future and what your peers are doing, what your colleagues are doing, because success leaves clues, as Tony Robbins says. And I want you to think about, okay, what do I think has the potential to work? And this is also where you have the opportunity to ask, what are my strengths? What do I want to do for marketing? Like, do I love being on video? Do I love being on podcasts? Do I love going to networking events? Do I love public speaking? Like, what do I love to do? What are my strengths? Where does my ideal client hang out? And what am I seeing other people in my niche doing where I could learn or pick up some patterns or clues or ideas from that, right? And we're not going to copy people, but you are going to look around your field and see what are other people doing that seems to be working for them. And what you might pick up is like, oh, interesting. I have a coach in my field who hosts a monthly online workshop, and that seems to be working for her. So maybe that'll work for me. But here's a tip. Make sure when you're looking at other people in your field, you don't want to compare your beginning to somebody else's like end chapter. So what I mean by that is like, if you're looking at Tony Robbins, who has 10 million followers, has been in the field for 20 years, blah, blah, blah. His strategies at his stage of business are probably going to not work for you at your stage of business, because if he's doing, huge online event with speakers and he rented out a space and he has an entire team marketing for him and he's, earned his right to be general in his marketing. He actually started off being very niche in his marketing and only working with like smokers and doing like hypnosis for smokers and stuff like that. And now has a mass audience with mass appeal and is very broad in his niche and messaging because he's earned that. He's gotten to a point where his audience is huge and blah, blah, blah. So my point is, you might not want to say, well, I'm going to go do like a Tony Robbins level event and spend all this money and rent out this event, right? Because you're not at the same stage of business as him. So you want to look at people who are ahead of you and learn, like, success leaves clues, but you don't want to do something where you're deciding to do something that someone who's been in business for 20 years is doing when you're just starting out, because chances are you could start with something lower hanging fruit and more at your level that will work better for you. Like Tony Robbins can't offer free mini sessions with people. That's actually an advantage for you. You probably can, because you're newer and you can offer more personalized support and you can connect with people directly on a more personal, customized level than he can, right? So just pay attention to that when you're looking at others and looking for the whole success leaves clues idea. And you can also think about, when I say think about the future, I also mean look at what marketing platforms and methods are on the rise. So example would be like Substack and Threads. Over the last couple of years, those have been growing. People are, really leveraging Substack to monetize their business and to grow their email list and that kind of thing. So maybe that's something you want to learn about, right? So that's the order of operations I would go in for trying to decide, what marketing activity do I want to be most consistent with? Do I want to stick with for the next 30 to 90 days? And what is that going to look like on a weekly basis? Break it down for yourself on, where do I start with that? What are the steps? What kind of obstacles might I need to create strategies for? How am I going to be consistent with this? And start to implement your plan. Now, one thing I just want to share as well is, in marketing, you have to be willing to delay instant gratification. So if you're posting every day and you're not getting clients from it, well, number one, you need to remember that lead generation needs to go with content creation. Content creation is what we call lead nurturing, meaning you are nurturing your current audience. But if you don't have a big current audience, you also need to grow your audience, and your posts alone are not going to do that at the level you want. So we need to pair lead generation and generating new audience members with the lead nurturing that you're doing. But where I was going with that example is, if you're posting and you're not getting a ton of engagement or likes, and you're saying, well, then that's not something I should be doing, you might be wrong, because there might be people who are silently looking and listening and consuming your content, but not engaging, because in today's world, engagement really is at an all-time low. Less people are giving likes and things like that. People are still consuming it or saving it or sending it to a friend in a DM, but they may not be commenting and liking. And so you want to know that, like, I've had several clients who've come to me and said, I've been following you for years. I've listened to all your podcasts, or I've consumed all your Instagram content, and I have never seen them like or comment or leave a review or anything like that. I didn't even know they were in my world watching. And so if I would have said, well, content's not working for me, so I'm going to move on to the next thing, then I wouldn't have had those people and those opportunities. So it's a balance of delaying gratification, committing and being consistent to testing something, and deciding what that thing is with an educated guess based on this framework we gave you in this episode. So try the exercise, decide what you're going to stick with, and then now is your chance to get coached on it and refine and improve and see what else you can be doing to speed it up, right? And that's what we do inside the Work Smart Marketing Club. So if you want to ask questions, if you want to get direction in your business every month, if you want to have resources you can be using for marketing, for improving your sales process, for creating your first email funnel, if you've never done that before, and you're curious about that, these are the kinds of things you can get access to in the Work Smart Marketing Club. All right, so thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions about the episode or the Work Smart Marketing Club, you can message me on Instagram at Hailey_Rowe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.